So we're gonna affirm that there was no meeting and therefore there's no minutes to the meeting.
Pretty much.
We didn't have an event or budget meeting for July, right?
No, there were any.
Okay.
All right, Joe. How are you? You all
Yeah,
set?
we're all set. There's one person on right now.
Okay.
Just checking on you.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. We are going to call the meeting to order at 8:32 a.m. In consideration of others and the business conducted today, please silence your phones and any electronic devices, and refrain from speaking unless recognized. This meeting has been broadcast on Zoom. And if you're interested in speaking during public comment, please let the presiding officer know when public comment opens. And again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this morning. Roll call. We were just doing this, we were not doing this individually, right?
That was more just a,
Okay.
who's not president or all of president.
Yeah, looks like we have 4 members, except for Ronnie, who is.
She's on her way. She's
on her
stuck in traffic.
Perfect. Okay. Well, not perfect, but yeah, glad she's coming. All right, we will now do the Pledge of Allegiance. Kathy, will you lead us?
Ready? Begin. I
pledge
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, reordering and additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda today? Okay. All right, this will begin our public comment period. We're going to invite members of the public to address the board. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. And if you're in attendance, please let me know. Once recognized, speakers should rise, state the name and subject matter you wish to discuss. And I'll inquire if anyone on Zoom in just a moment, but we've also made these meetings to be a little less formal. So there will be a chance for anyone to speak or to be recognized throughout the meeting. Is there anyone on Zoom that wants to say anything?
I don't have any raised hands.
Okay. And would anyone here like to public comment? Okay. Then we will close the public comment period. All right, board statement reports. Does anyone have anything they would like to report?
Okay. Well, you're on the board. You just have
nothing to report.
I have nothing to report. And just as a reminder, there will be committee sort of reports throughout the meeting, and so if you have something to report that is a part of what committee you were on, there will be a time for that as well. Okay. Well, we'll invite the report from the one and only Mr. Josino.
I just wanted to share, week from Saturday is the classic car show in the village. It is 6 to 11. Streets do start closing about 1 o'clock. But we're not, as a reminder, no parking lots around the Vine Class Coffee are being closed down or anything. So so everyone doesn't have to leave. It's just move your car kind of a thing. We have 250 cars registered, which is more than we had last year. It will go down to right down here, so south of Foothill also, and along and then east and west, the booths. There's some food that's gonna be on this side of the foothill, so it's not gonna interfere with anybody in the village. And it's just gonna be a great time, so 6 to 11, the vendors set up between 2 and 3, and then the cars start coming in at 3:15. So there's like an hour downtime. So, but then there's gonna be a ton of people, so look forward to it, and just kind of leave up some of this in here. Just as kind of a reminder, if we can kind of keep the sidewalks free of booths and stuff, because the street is so full, people use it, but yeah, hope everybody has fun. It's gonna be a great time. That would be a good time, maybe to get some, pictures possibly to share for the village vault of pictures that we're building here. So, but yeah, just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, because we've been talking about events and about vendors and food trucks and things like that. What is your current plan for the car show and to have like food trucks or vendors or booths or any of those things in the village?
Well, at this time, we're not having any in the village. Because we don't want to interfere with the restaurants and stuff that are here. We do have a few south of Foothill here. Like there's one food truck, kind of a sandwich truck, and then we kind of down here. There's a hot dog and tater tot little trailer will be over here, and then triple bean pizza, and the chef from the country club, he does his own kind of thing. He's gonna have some stuff, so at this point, that's about it. Okay. So, but it's just with the number of people, it's just we needed more down here, so, but we're really conscious and working to not interfere with, the businesses. And then also this year, we've talked to Kara. Kara's gonna be open. So she'll be open this year, so we're not gonna have anything next to her. And so yeah, so we should have enough food for everybody where we don't have to wait 3 hours to get something. So
Will you be the one that coordinates with Ashley, the photographer, to have her come and?
I mean, she isn't scheduled at this point, but if you all want to do that, we can do that. Yeah. And I mean, we're also getting pictures of everything too, we can share too. But yeah, that's something we want to try to schedule with her. Sure.
We don't have that as an item, an agenda. We could talk about that during the marketing. Yeah. Okay. All right, special items. We are going to administer the oath of office and reorganization for the term of 2025 and 2026. So we are going to invite the city clerk to administer the oath.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have Crystal. And let's have you both stand, Crystal and Callan. And so I'm going to put this in front of you. I'm going to put my count. And I have it in front of you so you can read it as well. So I state your name.
I, Crystal Mayhew,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I will take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
It's like, can't leave now.
Got him. It was like a test first and then
If you could have that memorized.
Yeah, there's a test agenda. Let me try that.
Thank you. Maybe those copies with, you can have them, and then if you need them, you can scan them.
Okay,
All right.
okay. Thank you so much.
All right, so at this time, we're going to invite Joe to report on the reorganization.
Well, at this point, it's trying to pick a chair and a vice chair, which you all do that. You nominate somebody for those positions and then vote for said positions. So we kind of turn it back to any nominations for the chair and vice chair.
Are there any special considerations other than like being responsible for running the meeting that the chair and vice chair have? Any other responsibility?
Not really. It's just you're the lead. You're the main person to basically run the damn meetings. You could call meetings, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, really anyone can call me. But
and setting the agenda.
yeah, and setting the agenda, chair and vice chair really should be. You know, that's what we work together mostly to make sure the agenda is set the way you like it. But the main part is to represent the board as the chair and to run this meeting. This is
I just signed with
Maybe I'll sit over here. Just to make this more democratic.
who wants the lone seat?
I nominate Matthew as chair. That's it.
Does anyone else have any desire to?
You don't want to take it on? I mean, I'll help if we need to, but if no one else wants to do it.
Then I'll nominate you as vice chair.
Okay. Oh, do you want to do this? I think we have to do one at a time.
One at a time.
I mean, unless Ronnie wants it. Okay.
So you had a nomination by Crystal for Matt and then a second. Kathy seconded?
Yeah.
Any discussion with that?
No.
Okay, then call for the vote to vote on that position.
You're still running the meeting.
Okay, all in favor?
Okay, great, congratulations.
Thank you.
And now nomination for the vice chair.
Okay. Callan, if you're willing to help with it, that would be, I'll nominate Callan.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. We probably do need to do something different with this.
That's how it usually happens, right?
Yeah, if you just.
Yeah.
I feel like I sat next to,
Well, yeah, you could,
Oh, you want me
it's kind of, we can add another.
I just don't want it to be like, yes, hello, everyone.
You can sit next to
Now that I'm sitting by myself.
whichever.
It's fine, I don't know, it's cool.
Or you can put five tables, everybody gets their own table.
We can get our own tables. I feel like that would be.
All right, well, great, that's wonderful that that's done. Okay, so we will now, have the city update and we'll invite Chantal to, give her report.
Thank you, and congratulations. So our update is The parklets have been receiving wood treatments every Monday. If you guys have seen them, I know you have. We started in July with a village ball, and then we're just moving down. On August 25th would be our last one, ending with Kara's Corner. Next Monday will be Crust and Crumble and Ed's Place at the same time. And then also staff has been meeting to prepare for the holiday stroll. And the big board should start discussion on how they want to organize this year's event. In the past, there's been carolers, Santas, horse-drawn buggy rides, and photographers. And if similar elements are planned this year, we would like to coordinate early. And then also just a reminder, Joe reminded me, for the holiday stroll, there cannot be any vendors on the sidewalks. And that's it. It's the update.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, event and communications update. Megan?
Okay, good morning, everybody. So we've been having our Friday Night Twilight series, been going since the first Friday in June, and that runs to the last Friday in September. We have a few new acts, some previous acts from last year. The calendar filled up super, super quick. So as always, if you guys do have acts that you know people would be interested, just let me know as soon as possible for next year, because I do save all the emails that I get during the year of people expressing their interest. I know even after we booked everything this year, we did have a few people reach out to Joe, go into the chamber, email me that they were interested. So highly sought after, fun thing to do. We have been coordinating with our photographer that the marketing committee has brought on. And so she just recently shot this past week, no, not this past Friday, the Friday before, and is slated to also shoot a date in August and September as well. So we can just get some more footage of that. We don't have a lot of presence on social media of that particular event that we do have. Joe has been working very, very closely with Public Works. We've been experiencing some power outages in the bus plaza. So thank you, Joe, for helping troubleshoot that. But other than that, that's been running really, really well. And then our next event is going to be our Halloween walk, which is on Halloween this year. It is during the week, so we'll be able to business as usual with that. As Matt mentioned, we do have our sub-event committee meetings, so if anybody would wish to participate and add their 2 cents into that, we are going to be starting planning on that this month. And then after Halloween really does kick off the holiday season stuff, which is obviously the stroll and Santa in the Village, followed by Small Business Saturday. So we have kind of 3 events that are kind of go right in a row, that we will kind of start working on and chipping away at as well.
Just to follow up on Halloween walk and holiday stroll, I know that we need to start having the conversations about that. It seemed like Halloween walk was like pretty dialed in last year, and everybody was happy with it as it was, and we had a lot of conversation about it beforehand about whether we were going to change it, limit it, all of that. But it seemed like everything, like there isn't a whole lot that we need to do for it.
It's a relatively self-sustaining event, I would say. Really the only thing that we seem to combat each year is just the rising cost of candy. But we also do kind of forecast that in the budget, knowing that, you know, candy might be a little bit more expensive that year. But just given the sheer amount of people, having the road closures, the timing, all of that, it is, I would say, pretty self-sustaining. It's more just getting ahead of the curve of just marketing it out, getting posters out, banners up, etc. Again, luckily, a lot of that stuff is pretty dialed in terms of it's just nice, generic, cute Halloween marketing, right? We don't have to rebrand it each year to something different with a new theme. In terms of that, the only thing that we did different last year, just because we were contemplating scaling back budgeting and all of that, was we didn't bring back the trains last year. And it was expressed through some families that they just wanted just more things to do with the kids. So definitely discussion in our events committee meeting of how can we incorporate things on the avenue for kids to participate and do. If it could even be something as simple as, you know, coloring stations. You know, you can buy thousands of packs of coloring books and that are Halloween themed, and we can set some tables and chairs and stuff like that up. We could also consider bringing back the trains, and then restrooms are also really always the biggest thing, mostly because there's children, you know? So that's a conversation that I know we did consider when talking about the budget, is so that we would have enough room in the budget to at least bring in one mobile addition, you know, to help relieve the restaurants and our public streams as well.
Okay, cool. And then for a holiday stroll, we had a lot of discussion about that.
Yes.
And so will that happen then in the event committee meeting where we talk about vendors and Preston Crumble doing like a area for kids, cookie decorating and all of those things?
Absolutely, and like Chantal said too, that's also, I don't wanna say self-sustaining as well, but that's also been, that just brings in such a huge crowd. That we've gotten that pretty dialed into. The only difference is now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, in the last few years, with the parklets, we cannot do carriage rides at the stroll. We can do them for Santa in the Village, to get the carolers, Santa, carriages, all that. For the stroll, we work collaboratively with the city. We supply and hire the carolers, and more of that kind of stuff. But yes, there is definitely to be a conversation to be had about how we boost up, again, things for people to do, or, you know, that we're not just going in and out of businesses. Yeah, and that could be a conversation too. I know that there's part of it is also considering, public safety is the right word, but it gets very crowded in the street. And then having booths, how are we gonna manage the traffic of that? But Joe could probably better speak on that than I do.
Yeah, there was, from reports I've seen, there were about 10,000 people there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember the streets, it might be difficult to even put those in the street. So, but in the meeting, we can definitely put something, so there's activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing from last year.
Yeah,
It's
I
just like
think
there's nothing to do.
there's nothing to do, it's just a lot of people in a very tight area. Is there a world in which we can expand the road closure?
Well, that actually was asked by Andrew at Visiting Angels,
Oh, okay,
if that is a possibility to do it more like the car show.
yeah,
You know, but
yeah, so maybe that's something we can,
pulls in those other bid numbers that are.
that's what I'm thinking too, and maybe that could be a conversation we had, and then it does provide more room if we want to open up the vendor booth of it all to our bid businesses, you know? That might be an option. I think right now it's the space for that particular event, but if we can expand the closure, I don't see why not.
Good things to do. Okay, thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Okay, is Louise on?
Yeah, she's on
Okay.
online.
Hi, Louise.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Can everyone see me?
No, but that's.
Okay, wonderful. I can see myself. So good morning. Happy August-ish, everybody. This will be a short and sweet social media update. Pretty much been capitalizing on the new content that the photographer sent as of last week. That looks really, really fun, and I'm going to be sprinkling those throughout the rest of August. My main focus right now are on Fridays. We have the Friday night twilights. I want to focus on all fun things back to school. So making sure I am seeing all the promotions from the local businesses on what they're doing for anything back to school. And then following that, I just did a post for the car show, because that's always a huge draw in the village. And so that's my focus right now. Trying to think of anything else leading into September will be all things Halloween. I have some video stuff that I need to capture on my end. But other than that, those are my updates.
Wonderful. Thank you, Louise.
Mhm.
Yeah, those new pictures are gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I like the direction so far, and it's nice seeing people, like actual people, you know, interacting with the Glendora village. So that's really good.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, from here, we're gonna move to our consent calendar. This is just affirming the minutes from June 1st, June 1st, and affirming the cancellation of the June 3rd meeting. And then we'll get to the expenditures. So, we need a motion to affirm the minutes from June 1st.
I move to affirm the minutes from June 1st.
We need a second?
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and a motion to affirm the cancellation of the July.
Who did this? It's all together. You only need one vote.
Oh, okay, one full thing. All right, great.
Crystal and me.
Crystal. Oh, well.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I should have read through the rest of this, but we did it, so that's great. All right, so new business, we're gonna review the 25-26 event calendar of the Glendora Village events. That is here.
Wait, we didn't do the business expenditures for fiscal year, did we?
They're all,
They're all-
the second one, all together. They're all in your report.
Okay, so these are the events.
Yeah, this,
Go ahead.
okay. You know, just looking at, the events that we were, you know, a lot of we were just talking about. There's a couple of, the center call was the dates this year, 2025, 26, the ones we have to prove, because we'd really like to set the whole calendar for the whole year, then we could just start flying them all, not knocking them out, and, get them on the calendar so the community knows what's going on. Really, it just took this year's date and picked that same date next year. So, yeah, Halloween, Stroll's always there, Friday or Saturday, well, this Saturday is always that time. Santa in the Village, so that's where we have to plan, we, you know, we want Santa carriages, all that kind of stuff this year. A wine walk is kind of the same Saturday as this past year, which will be on the 21st. And then, if we wanted to do the chalk walk pop-up again around that same time, that would be May 8th. And then if you want to keep that same schedule for Friday Night Twilights next year, those will be the dates that correspond with this year. So, so I turn it back to you for a discussion.
I do have a question, because I know we upped the budget for the Friday Night Twilights, but I thought that was to get bigger, better bands, and now we've expanded into September, so, because we usually just went to the end of August before this year.
No, we went into the end of September last year too.
Really?
Yeah. Mhm.
I feel that's kind of an outlier, because usually we haven't had that many. It's usually only been the 3 months, like June, July, August.
Yeah, last year they asked me to book to September,
Okay,
so we did.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So did we up our budget for that? Like, because from what I remember, we only had like a $2,500 budget.
We stayed within budget last year and are within budget this year as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. I don't mind it going longer. Let's do it all year long. That'd be great.
I think my September acts like it typically cools down a smidge. Well, sometimes not. Yeah. We've had a late summer so far, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I do think we should change the time. The sun becomes a problem for the entertainers, because the sun hasn't quite gotten below that, and it's like right at them, and there's no
Right.
way for us to cover that up. And
Right.
I know they kind of like been moving to kind of catch whatever shade they can get at that time.
Mhm.
But if we could just make it like a half an hour later, but I guess we'll talk about that in the
Yeah.
meetings.
What time do the restaurants close?
You guys want
What's that?
8 o'clock?
8.
You guys close at 8? 8 or 9?
I think that's part, I think that's
I think we close
probably
at 9 on
part of it.
Fridays.
Yeah.
So 8:30?
Yeah.
6:30 to 8:30?
8:30. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
All right, we're going to vote on receiving and approving the presented dates. And request that these dates will be added to the village calendar. I have actually one last question. Is there any reason why the holiday stroll is the weekend before Thanksgiving and not on Black Friday?
Because it's always been that way. Pretty much. Traditionally, it's always been that bad thing.
Because families are getting together for Thanksgiving, so there's like a lot of,
People gone?
no, there's a lot of people here at that time, and then they're gone after Thanksgiving, so.
Okay.
They travel.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. Longest I've always been that.
All right, we motion to receive and approve the presented dates with the modification of 6:30 to 8:30.
Oh, we don't have to,
We don't have to do that right now? Okay. All right, so we'll,
I don't think, we're just affirming the dates,
all
right?
right, we'll affirm the dates
Oh,
and
no,
perhaps discuss times. Okay. All right, motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll move to the committee for event and budgeting. Today we're gonna provide updates, assign members, and review the meeting time and day of the month. Mr. Josian.
Well, just bring this back at some, it's, you know, we didn't have any meetings in July, we were dark, so, but we're still working on months and stuff. So, really at this point, just kind of any updates the committee members that were on those have, and then also to, it's currently every second Tuesday at 9 a.m. If that time still works for everybody or whoever's on the committee. We started to have a few people attend, and now really no one attends but us, you know, so, I don't know if that's the date or what, so, but I just wanted to bring that up, and,
We do need volunteers for our committee now that we have new members, right?
yeah, well, that's where, because each committee can only have two advisory board members. And then also there was some discussion with, like we'll go over the next one, marketing and beautification. Your marketing is part of this committee too, so, yeah,
There's some overlap.
so there's some overlap, and, you know, maybe we change the second committee completely, and it's just full marketing into this one also. Because you kind of do it.
I wanted to make a recommendation because obviously events and marketing go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Budget obviously is oversight, and I think a little bit more aligned with financial pieces, and then beautification kind of exists on its own. So to be able to have 3 different committees, and it's my understanding that even a committee can call a subcommittee as well, right? So if we did a subcommittee for the holiday stroll, if we did a subcommittee for the Halloween walk, that met with additional duration for planning periods. That's what we.
And also, just to be clear, there can only be 2 board members on each committee.
Yeah, or get present at the meeting.
And present at the meetings.
Because if there's more than that, we'd have to call it as a special meeting.
As a special, okay.
Does everybody know the original intent of grouping event and budget together? Or like why those 2 pieces were chosen to?
Because that's where the money's being spent on events.
Mostly of money.
Yeah. But even though that committee, we really only talked about stuff in. You know,
Well, we
so,
talk about how much we're spending on events,
yeah,
when we need to.
yeah. I mean, it could be,
I always have budgets back in my mind.
Yeah, see?
oh, yeah, that's I mean, really the budget. I mean, I don't know if we really even need a committee called budget or budget, you know, because that's just kind of a given that the events should go within the budget, but. So it could be
For
budget
marketing,
beautification.
we have allocated money for our marketing, like, person. So I guess that's the budget for marketing, and they don't need to talk about money or, you know, how money is spent.
That was my other point of curiosity, just saying one of the pages that's in here with the fiscal year 26 adopted budget. Where does that adopted budget come from and who decides on it?
We do.
Yeah, we have a special, one of the meetings, I can't remember exactly when, it is.
Yeah, April, May, like there's a couple meetings where we kind of discuss the budget and the changes, and then right before the assessments go out, or the assessment notices go out, the budget's approved, so you know what's needed. So there's a process after the first meeting.
Okay.
But yeah, but you all do it here.
One of the interesting things about events and marketing, just for context, for marketing, we've really only been talking about social media and photography. And have we really covered anything else in the meetings? That was our focus. So events would be like the planning of the events and things like vendors and that conversation. So we could have subcommittees of that. Would the subcommittees then have be able to have 2 members each? Is it kind of is it just semantics?
Yeah, any outside committee can only have 2 members.
Okay. So I sort of feel like we need 2 members on events and we need 2 members on marketing in whatever form that takes.
Problem we usually have with having subcommittees and all that is people can't even make it to the original committee meetings, so.
We should
Have
have
extra
some
meetings.
positivity and optimism
I know.
that our community.
I know, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Okay, just again, curious about the context and like how everything has aligned, because I haven't had an opportunity to look at.
But I do like the idea of separating budget. So if we do have a budget committee and maybe that meets at special times.
I just think procedurally, if you have events and budget aligned together, you can run into some red tape approving your own budgets, right? Like, there's not, if it's 2 specific members that are just saying, okay, budget approved,
Well, it still has to come here and get approved.
Mhm.
Which is
So,
fine.
like,
I guess it's more the context of being able to be involved in the conversation that's leading up to what's being presented here for approval, if that makes sense.
I mean, also too, do we need, like, because the conversation of the budget is really only once a year, fiscal year, not literal year. So that the budget's set, and to your point, then the events committee is really just, how do we work within the guidelines of the budget? That was already decided on. So, I mean, is it just a matter of semantics of just removing the term budget, and it's really just an event committee?
Yeah, and if we had a budget committee that met outside of this meeting, then that would actually give us probably a little bit more opportunity to talk more about some of the line items, because usually that just ends up happening here and becomes a really long meeting. So there could be an opportunity, Tabby, I know like you are very focused on the budget. So if that would be something that you would want to kind of be on that budget committee, then you could kind of do that along with another one of us. Perhaps I would do that as well, or whoever wants to do budget. And then that could be something where you would have a little bit more time outside of these meetings to really delve into what we're spending.
I just remember there was a critical point last year where Joe was like, hey, we're running at a deficit, right? We need to figure out how to align our spending. A lot changed for the holiday stroll. That was kind of where I came into a lot of the piece, being a brand new business owner in the village at the time. But then obviously, like, compared to the adopted budget for fiscal year 25 versus what we actually spent, we ended up running at a little bit of a surplus. So there's also the conversation that's specific to budget that's related to how much of a surplus do we run at? Do we run at a surplus? Is it advantageous to business owners to have surplus? Or because we collect these dues, like, we have the responsibility to really spend them, and I know that's in the bylaws, but just to literally be able to talk about the money and where it's getting allocated and why it's getting allocated and separating that from the planning.
Crystal, I love you. And part of the problem with our budget and running a deficit is because not everybody pays their dues. Is kind of the problem we've been having on a regular basis. So, yeah, that's.
And there's also, I mean, part of the budget thing is like, there's the fiscal year, there's the calendar year, there's when the assessments come in, and it's always fluctuating. So there might be a month where it looks like we're running at a deficit, and we have the wine walk, and we're at a huge surplus, then it balances out, and historically, it's been very difficult to actually even sort of see where, like, I know I was like, okay, assessments, like when do we know whether we've collected the assessments or not?
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to find that out. So what would our procedure from here would be, we want to form a budget committee. We want to have events and marketing still be separate committees? Or together, but have subcommittees for each? I think it could be advantageous to have two. My only issue is how many board members get to be a part of those meetings. So if it's events and marketing, you have two. If it's events and marketing, then you get four. So,
And in this context, we're treating marketing as more like holistic marketing for the village, not so much like the event-driven marketing.
correct.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's actually a good point too, I will say though, because there is a bit of crossover with that,
Yep.
but then it does get sticky, or not say sticky, just kind of tricky with managing schedules and expectations of like me, Eloise, having to be at 4 meetings in 1 month, you know what I mean? So if there could be a crossover, that's helpful too, or even just a liaison to report from different. I mean, Lisa and I have a good communication in terms of like, hey, this is our final artwork for the Halloween, here you go.
So one of the ways that this could work is if we combine events and marketing, but then we have like a subcommittee for marketing that just focuses on photography and social media or something like that.
And then really the budget committee, I don't think that has to meet every month. It could be, because all that work really starts after the first of the year. So that could be a subcommittee that you pick 2 people, okay, we're gonna work on fiscal year 26, 27 budget. Unless something comes up and you wanna spend a bunch of money now, because there is a surplus, there's money available. Then that committee could meet to talk about it and then bring it to you at a meeting. You could have 4, but they don't have to meet every month. Even beautification, if you wanted a separate meeting, because a couple bid members asked that should be separate. So that can even be a separate one if you really want to work on that. Right. Because we haven't really done much of that work, so.
Is there budget for, what's the budget line item for beautification?
You don't have one.
Landscape.
So it's the landscaping, but we haven't been billed for anything for a while. So, but yeah, there is that there, but that's.
Tree trimming.
Yeah, it's been there for a few years, or the last few years, nothing's been built, so yeah.
Does anyone have a passion for beautification?
Well.
And when I say that, I mean, like, there are things that need to be improved.
Oh, sure.
Does that include, like us getting, I own a restaurant, so more shade for like our parklets? Like, is that part of beautification, or is that like more of a?
Shade in the meaning of like extra umbrellas or?
Yeah,
Trees or?
no, not trees, because we can't plant on the middle of the street, but, like the trees aren't helping us at all.
That would be.
Like, is that beautiful, or what is like the definition of
I
beautiful?
think-
Like, is it just like adding plants and cleaning, like,
If I can help, so beautification kind of means more of the holistic view of the villages and maintaining the sidewalks and kind of the public spaces in the villages separate from the parklets and also the plazas and even the private plazas. So it is, I think, a little limiting where it's really making sure the sidewalks are clean and things like that, but then it can dip into landscape. So it's kind of that space.
so like getting bug spray, like an actual,
No.
I'm just asking, like,
yeah,
because we get, stagnant water underneath our parklet every month.
Yeah, I think if
But
it's
that's
related to the parklets,
Nothing.
we should have a separate conversation about that in terms of ongoing maintenance, because it has been 5 years since the parklets have been installed. I think for this group to consider is more of the landscaping piece and the sidewalks.
Monument signs that are rusty and you want lights, you want shade structure,
Updating the banners on the
Yeah.
the poles, that kind of stuff, just overall.
Oh,
Front
More-
facing cosmetic stuff
Yeah.
of the
I
village.
mean, like, the fact that
Once again,
there's,
public,
yeah,
kind of
there's-
public realm.
there's tree berries that are like outside of classic, where like So beautification would be, if we had, and I'm just, this is sort of clarification as well, if we had a beautification committee, or, you know, whatever, or point person, would that person call someone and say, hey, like, we gotta clean the sidewalk? Is
Well, I
that
think it just work on the vision of what you
the
want.
vision of what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more like big picture, and then we see, okay, who takes care of what? Is it Public Works, or is it the bids?
Yeah, because I think it's a little gray, but at that
Yeah.
point, it's the more the maintenance of it, whereas beautification is kind of bigger picture, more kind of, you know, is there something that needs to be replanted on an annual basis, that kind of piece.
Yeah, it's like talking with one of the bid members as we walked around, is, you know, would you want the village to have, you know, like plants, you know, like a theme of planting through the village so it all looks uniform? You know, and it could go as detailed as that to just clean stuff up.
I feel like we need Frank Archer for that.
Well, he's the one that says, this, you need to do this, kind of, because you look at it as kind of an association, you know, like.
Or marketing the village.
Yeah, you want, what do you want your canvas to look like when people visit? That's for the beautification.
Okay.
Yeah, which should be its own kind of committee that, maybe it doesn't have to, I don't think that has to meet every month personally, but more project-based. You know.
Okay, again, does anyone feel a stirring in their heart about,
I mean, I want the downtown to look beautiful. That's why people come to Glendora.
all right, so let's form that committee, I guess.
We have to have a motion.
We have to have a motion, yes, okay. All right, so we'll do a
So
couple of
we're
motions.
separating the market and beautification.
Marketing and events are gonna combine with subcommittees. So here's the motion. The motion to form a beautification committee. Same motion to form to combine marketing and events as one committee with subcommittees for social media. And then form a committee for budget.
Okay, are you making a motion?
I guess if that's my, I will make a motion.
If you want to do that, then we could do a second on who's on what, who's on first, who's on third.
Second motion.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. Congratulations. We have a beautification committee, we have a budget committee, and we have a marketing and events committee with social media as a subcommittee. Now, do we have to then decide who's on all of these committees? Is that a motion-based process, or is that a,
Yeah, you kind of have to assign people from how I understand. So we officially assign who's on those.
Are these committees something that outside merchants can be a part of, like business owners? So maybe we need to solicit that email to say we formed these 3 new committees, we're super excited about them, and we want to have some participation from our local businesses, and see who opens up with it. And then that way it's more, there you go, that's what I'm saying. That's a good word.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely set them up. We just need 2 people, we're just letting people assign. It doesn't have to be 2, it just can't be more.
Yeah, I think we should open
So
it up.
Kathy, it sounded like you were interested in.
I'll be on beautification. I'd also like to be on marketing and events then.
Or budget. I think you had said something about that.
Or I've been on the events committee, and I mean, that's something that I've been more involved with than the budget specifically, so.
I would love to be on the event and marketing committee, because that is my deep expertise. And I know I'm a little bit newer to the space, but I feel like I would have the opportunity to really understand and relay information alongside the budget committee, right? But lean into that skill set to be able to help put events together and collaborate with our partners to make it really beautiful and special.
All right, so it's looking like Kathy will do beautification. And Crystal will do, and events, marketing events. And then Crystal will do marketing events. And then Ani, would you like to continue with, like the social media subcommittee piece? And I'd like to run that as well.
I think we work it together.
Okay. And Callan, is there anything that you would like to do
No.
committee-wise?
I'll go wherever you guys need.
So we don't have anybody for the budget committee?
I'll be on the budget committee.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I guess, is there a conflict if I'm on the events committee, but then on the budget committee?
It's not a conflict.
Okay, then I would love to be on the budget committee with Callan.
Okay.
And nobody wants beautification. right?
Perhaps I
Besides
will
me.
also I will also be on the beautification. Okay. All right. Do we need a motion for that? All of that, or we could, yeah, we do need a motion.
Yeah, then also with the marketing and, marketing and budget, do we want to keep that second Tuesday at 9? Or do we have to vote on that? Yeah, we probably should because we need a public. So we can work it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's this coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
Does that mean that like, if I wanted to go to one of those meetings, we couldn't? Like I couldn't, right?
Correct.
Okay, yes.
That's
Yeah,
what
okay,
makes it
just
a
making
little more
no.
difficult.
But you can
Yeah.
send a representative from your restaurant.
Oh,
But we gotta be careful too, because if you
I'll send a
do
man.
that and then they talk to it and then they talk to you three, it becomes a serial meeting. And
Oh.
that's against the rules.
Okay, Amanda's out.
But.
Wait, what can happen? Can you
I
say
can't
that
send
again?
someone.
A serial
in my
meeting,
place.
right? Where.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, so,
where-
go ahead.
Okay.
So
You were
the Brown Act is what has these requirements for what constitutes a public meeting. And so if you have a majority, which for the group of you is 3, then it constitutes a public meeting where we have to post the agendas and everything that you see here. That's why it's except these committees are 2 board members per committee. And so what Joe was talking about is, like, say, so Callan wants to send a representative to the subcommittee that can string along and come back to be considered that 3rd person that constitutes the public hearing. So it's best to stay separate for these items, just from a Brown Act perspective. It's the rules and regulations that.
So someone from my team
Yes.
is considered a representative. of
Correct.
me.
Correct. But if you encourage another business owner or somebody from that business to attend, that would not be considered part of the Brown Act because they are coming as their business entity.
Okay. So then also as a reminder, these committees are going to meet, but then we're going to give a report of what we've been talking about in the bigger meeting. So we will always have a chance to talk or to review, talk about the things that are okay. All right, so second Tuesdays at 9 a.m. for
Events and marketing.
events and marketing. That works. Okay. And the last Wednesday at 8:30 still works for the new subcommittee of social media and photography.
Oh, so that would be the 3rd, okay. That's what I was wondering when that was.
Then we need, then we'll have to find a time date for budget. It's like quarterly or whatnot.
Yeah, that would be probably a subcommittee, because that's really the first of the year, so.
Okay.
But I mean, it could also be a special meeting too, sometimes.
Well, we formed a committee.
Yeah.
So,
So then we could figure it out that way.
Okay, and then beautification, that could also be potentially for it's needed. And we can decide time for that. Typically, anytime after 8:30, 8:45 in the mornings is okay, as long as it's not too.
I mean, that works for me.
Okay, 8:45 and 10 a.m. So, why don't we do 8:45 and, beautification quarterly? Quarterly, probably.
It's up to you. I mean, if we're gonna focus on projects, I mean, if you focus on small projects to do, like, feel like we did monthly, we did something each month, we'd get a lot done downtown. We could start off quarterly and see how it goes.
Okay. How about like 11, you said between 8:45 and what?
10.
And 10. Okay, so yeah, 8:45. What if we did that last Wednesday of the month? We'll do our social media thing at 8:30, and then maybe like we can do beautification at 9:30 to 10. We'll just keep it at a half hour.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone want to request a motion to
I second that.
okay. All right, all in favor for all of these times, and dates, and committee members? Aye. Okay, wonderful. All right. Where are we? That was technically the event and budget committee report. And now we're going to do the marketing and beautification committee report from this last month. And there's not a whole lot to talk about, except we've been working with Ashley, the photographer that you have a relationship with. And she sent photos from one of the Friday Night Twilights, or the last one that she was at, and we made some comments about the batch of photos that she sent. She sent a bunch of photos, people, the band, all of that, and our comments were that most of the photos looked very sparse. There were people there, but there wasn't like a crowd of people there. And she took photos from far away, and so you could sort of see how sparse it was. And so our recommendations to her were to get a little bit closer in on people, because the photos were actually very beautiful pictures, like beautiful depth of focus, beautiful quality. They just needed to be a little bit tighter on people, on kids. I think I made the recommendation as well to get more pictures of them, because like she would take like maybe 3 pictures of a particular person, but they wouldn't be smiling in any of the pictures. And so, or to say like, hey, like I'm taking pictures of you so that, person's not like, and then we started talking about photo filters. So she had done filters that had a little bit more of a kind of, what was the term for it? It was more like vintage looking, so they were a little bit more washed out. They had a little bit of like an orangish, brownish kind of feel to them. And so I done a little bit of work as well. I gave some suggestions for bringing up the saturation a little bit. And that's as far as we got. She was very receptive to all of it. And I'm actually really excited to work with her, because all of her communication was very positive, and so I'll be excited to see the next round of pictures that she takes.
Yeah.
So,
We just offered suggestions too for her to kind of walk around on those whenever she's in the village, to take pictures of maybe the stores that are open, people eating at your business, or people inside getting candy, like kind of walking around a little bit to the businesses that are open. Maybe we can even provide her a list of the businesses that are open past 5, because that'll kind of give her a little bit more of a better understanding of where to take her pictures. But
so who is coordinating with her directly and giving her instructions to do things?
nobody else.
Megan said it.
Okay.
Just check.
Oh, just saying that same, again, like we were talking about the marketing event crossover, because I originally had it, I didn't know that we had a photographer, so we were able to kind of swiftly coordinate, oh, we do have a photographer, let's go ahead and reach out. I reached out to her, said, hey, this is the event we put on, these are the dates, we'd like for you to come to at least 2, 3 of them, great, you can finish the rest of the series, that would be fabulous. She gave me some dates, and then my, is to just give the parameters, this is the event, this is the time, these are the acts, this is the type of what you're gonna be photographing, and that's kind of it. So again, it's nice if there would be a collaborative part of the marketing. I think that part is missing, right? My job is just to coordinate.
We had talked earlier about hiring someone specifically for beauty, like coverage of the village. So maybe we should ask her to do that specifically.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say,
Yeah,
to that point too, if it's being asked to coordinate for a specific event, the instructions I'm gonna give is, this is the event,
This
this
is
is
the
the time, photograph this. But there might be a conversation worth having if we do want those beauty, B-roll kind of shots, then that's either a separate time or a coordinated effort of like, hey, by the way, when you're here,
Yep.
and you can stay longer and bill accordingly to capture these other supplemental items.
Yep. Okay. Joe, will you hire her to do that, or do you want one of us to reach out?
If that's what you want us, we can do that. I can do that. But maybe if you can give me what you're looking for, then we can give like real clear instructions. It's this, and then we'll be set. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, from our meetings in the past, that was a separate thing than this. This, we just hired her right next Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but we can do both. I mean, she did great pictures.
All right. So maybe I'll send a follow-up email to her and just say, here's the things, can you give us a quote for this? And then
we work on it.
Okay. All right, I don't think we have anything. Do we need to make a motion for anything there?
Just a receiving file.
Okay. Will someone make a motion to receive the file?
I move to receive and file.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Okay, old business, farmers market update.
Okay, this one here. I'll give you what I have or what I don't have, and then turn it back to you. Been trying to do this for several months now. Keep running into roadblocks. Kind of a little history, we started with just closing down the street, ended up being almost $3,000 a week to do that. So we kind of like moved on. Then looked at the lot down on Bennett and Glendora Avenue. That could be used, but that's $800 per week to use. That seemed like it was pricey. So we tried one more spot. Nelson's parking lot there and the bus plaza, went back and forth with them, offered them some money, not 800, but less. And they came back and said, no, we're not interested. So back at square zero, and unless there's money available to do some of the location and pay for it. But at this point, I just keep running into roadblocks, mainly financially. And to do something. So that's what I found out. Yesterday I finally got the denial for the Nelson's lot. So, but because I was thinking that and the bus pass, we have like a starting one, but But yeah, so that's where I'm at that.
Was it, I have a question, was it 3,000 for the entire street or just a partial closure? Or does it matter?
Was the whole street.
It was also, wasn't it also that the farmer's market company that was going to come and occupy that space was also a lot of money up front?
No, there was like no money for them. It's just the actual space is the cost. Because that farmer's market, they have kind of a profit share.
Yeah.
Which it's very little, depending on the size of the market, you know, so. But, there wasn't any, because they insure it, they get the payout, they get all that stuff. It's just getting a space for someone. It doesn't have to be that company we're talking to, for someone to do this. That's been the holdup. And the cost effectively.
Is the city willing to negotiate a lower cost because of the benefit it'll bring to the businesses in downtown? Is that something?
Now,
A lot
I mean, oh, sorry.
No, that's okay, and a lot of that, the cost is really associated with the actual closure of the street versus kind of the overall cost, like staff time and the amount of time it takes for closing out the street, and the equipment.
But again, we can make up that money by charging for booths. Which, I mean, I tried to allocate the money at some past meeting and that failed, so.
Well, that's where, I mean, if you wanted to hold the whole thing yourself and charge booths, then you could do it that way. But those outside groups do all that for you, and then you get a percentage.
I also seem to recall a conversation with the outside vendor that we were gonna bring in, like needed to have, like we had to commit to a specific period of time with them, and it was going to cost us money to bring them in.
So the time commitment, they usually have like a contract, they need at least 4 or 6 months at least, because then it's, so they can schedule everybody. But it's really just that, space being done, that's the call.
And there was some conversation about bringing our own people in as well.
Yeah, there's been people, I know, Lori said she has some, I think you, maybe has so much for farmers. So it's just kind of, you know, if the village wanted to have some kind of, or the bid wanted to have some kind of new event that it was budgeted, bring everything in, have a coordinator for it and all that. That'd be up to you all. But then you'd still have the cost of any closures and where it's gonna be and all that. It's just, that's where I keep running into roadblocks. Is finding space for it here. And being able to pay for it. We've really tried, I promise. Let's go back and forth.
Was the original farmer's market ran by the city? Like
No,
paid
it
for
was-
by the city or who?
It was
Like, I
ran-
mean, years and years ago.
It was ran by the chamber. The chamber had a subcommittee, they had a farmers market association subcommittee that ran the whole thing.
So they used to pay to close the streets all the way down to the library.
That I don't know. I mean, the city already
They didn't have it in the
closes the
street,
street.
they had it in a parking lot. back
Well,
then.
when I was growing up, we had a farmer's market
Yeah, that's
here in
why-
Glendora,
yeah,
yes.
that
Like say,
80s,
you, yes,
Like
we would
80s
close
and
down.
90s. Oh yeah, the 80s and 90s, it was just loaded with people. all the
With people, it would be a thing, it would be every Thursday night.
Uh-huh.
And it would close down, they would have, like, all types of vendors.
Yeah.
So I didn't know who, I mean, obviously it was a long time ago. but-
Yeah, it was the.
Like, I was just wondering who originally paid for it, if the city was willing to pay for it at that point, or if it was ran by, I don't know.
The chamber paid, the chamber ran it as a committee of that, which there was, village merchants on it, chamber people, but it was a subcommittee of the chamber. And, street closures, I don't know, like, no one, not many people really around still that did that. Don't recall anything where anybody was being charged to close the street. But now, I mean, the city closes the street a lot for village events, and there's not being charged. So this would be like another one, you know, so.
And there's
And-
no
and-
collaboration, like if we brought in community services and like the teen center or anything like that to get help paying, because they have their own budget, right? Like I'm just asking, I don't know.
The.
Like if we
community
collaborated
service
with
foundation-
another part of the city is that not allowed?
The city has one budget that kind of oversees all of the services and staffing required to maintain what goes on here in the Glendora community. So, I think this conversation of trying to pull from other departments, still, all the money comes from one place.
Oh,
Yeah, I've had that discussion, I've asked the city manager down, you know, what can we do, and it just, you gotta go outside. So it's, I mean, there's the Community Service Foundation, that's separate. Yeah, Rotary Club, Kiwanis Club, but that's a whole other ball of wax.
My sense of, in all of this has always been that this would be an incredible thing to have.
Oh, yeah, I
But
mean,
we don't have $3,000 a month to host it.
Not when typical vendor fees are 45 to 50 per booth. Farmers markets, they make their money off of the repetitiveness of the market every week.
yeah,
They don't make their profit off of one market. It has to be a weekly thing, it has to be consistent or sold out for them to make any kind of profit.
yeah, which that's where when they said, oh, there's like a profit share, like, oh, maybe that'll pay for it, but then even with the lot being 800, because like, yeah, that's more than you're gonna get, you know, so, I mean, especially for that, you know, if the market was 3 blocks long. that'd be
Like
one thing.
Monrovia,
Yeah, yeah,
Monrovia is insane,
yeah, so, but, yeah,
yeah.
so we kind of keep running into that same issue with, I mean, for the last several years, it's just, well, each year, because the back parking lots don't work.
The back parking lot behind Classic.
Yeah, that didn't work, it just, no one went to it. You know, too small, it's hidden, you know. And that's where it's like, but it was in the 80s, you know, when it was in the street here, it was very successful, but it was a different time too. You know.
Okay.
Like, so I apologize, and I try and,
And the bus plaza, how much is the bus plaza?
well, that there's no charge for the, you know, bus plaza, but it's
Tight.
very
Hey, but how many booths how many booths?
We did, when we did the Mother's Day, max, what did we say, 7, 8?
7 or 8.
Yeah, if each person has a 10 by 10, easy up, I think we had 6 for Mother's Day, and I said that we could probably fit 2 more, like, squeeze 2 more.
Which that's not a farmer's market. I mean, it'd be pushing it, that's why we tried the Nelsons, because they mapped it out, like, could get like 30 booths in that lot there, you know, and then have some other vendors and others, so it'd be a nice start. But yeah, just.
And Nelson's wouldn't do it? Not even after hours?
No, we worked for them after hours, and just, you know, didn't like the amount offered, and
Okay.
was interested in discussing further.
What about, what about the parking lot behind Lux Salon? It's behind, Liso
yeah.
Studios, is that city
Yeah,
owned?
behind Southland,
Yeah,
between
We'd have to double check on that one.
Ohana and the alley.
it is city owned, right?
I'm not sure, there are some parking lots that are city owned and there are some that are not. So we need to double check.
The thing right behind where Cole Baker was, that's part of that property.
No, the one behind Rev'd Up.
Oh, you were talking about what?
Oh, you were talking about over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
between the new salon and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but then you have that same problem they have probably behind Classic Coffee, it's just, they're hidden. But
well, that at least has a wide alleyway.
It has a wide alleyway, you could park some food trucks down there if it's allowed, and then you can have the parking on the street for people to park. So even though you lose one lot, you still gain all the foot traffic from people walking up to get to the farmer's market. So, I mean, it's still kind of advantageous to have it in a lot that's in the back because you can still have people walking the village to get there. It's kind of the same thing in Old Town Monrovia and Claremont that I've experienced. So
There's also the spot between Village Eatery and Southland Properties. There's a street that turns into an alley and parking and there's a pretty large space there.
Yeah, that's Southland, Southland. Lot, right, next, just north.
Next to the building,
Yeah, the
Southland.
and then the alley.
Yeah, and there's an alley, but there is quite a bit of space in that whole area. It's not the nicest area. Okay,
They have a pretty mural and everything.
they do.
I mean, honestly, I feel like if we were to do a farmer's market for the city of Glendora, it would have to be off of the street and it'd have to be like at a park or at a food hall, or like it can still be the Glendora Farmers Market. We can still create that. It just can't be necessarily down here. So we can have a farmer's market in Glendora. It's just getting the people to come here for it. As you said, we're running into all of these roadblocks. I think we just need to squash it and see if that lot is city owned, if they'd be willing to rent it, how much would it cost? How much is it gonna cost to put no parking on Fridays from 6 to 9 p.m.? You know, like all of the things you have to think about from a city perspective, so people know not to park there. And then, you know, how long is this gonna essentially take to get it done? 6 months, a year, you know what I mean? So it's probably like we could do the farmer's market for Glendora. It could be a Glendora-based farmer's market. It just may not be in the village, which is what the merchants need. But there's merchants everywhere in Glendora, so it's kind of like one of those things. I mean, that dumpling lot, that's a great lot too, and they're still a part of the bid.
It's true.
So whoever owns that lot, it's not the city, it's private. Maybe we get in touch with those people. They're right across the street. We hold Culture Fest right there on that side of the block anyway. It's not like it's too far out of the way for people to walk to the village to get dinner, you know, or shop. So we still would get the foot traffic from people parking in front of the stores.
Yeah.
And it's a big lot, and it's really never full, like it's, you know, have we looked there?
Haven't looked there.
I wonder who owns it. Can the city look up the deed or anything like that? No,
No.
We just have to watch the.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna need to wrap up. But can we, Joe, you're gonna look into those additional lots?
Mhm.
Okay. Do we need a motion for anything here?
Yes, we need a motion to receive and file the update for the farmer's market.
Okay. What do you think?
Yes, I will. I make a motion to receive and file.
Second, all right. All in favor? Aye. Okay, any closing comments?
Looking forward to the car show. Hopefully downtown's picking up steam after quiet summer that we've had. So looking forward to the kids getting back in school and our downtown becoming lively again, hopefully.
Looking forward to the 17th.
Is that a wrap?
All right, we're adjourning the meeting at 9:50 a.m. Congratulations, everyone, you did it. Your first meeting.
Welcome to the board.